everyone. Could we move in this way to fill the room? We got lots of room. Thank you. Hey everyone, could we squeeze some water on this side of the room so we can all run off in? Thank you. Hey everyone, let's keep moving to the side of the room, please. Thank you. There's lots of space. everyone, one last time, let's scoot to this side of the room. Also, please look forward, closer to the whole stage. All right, excellent. Thanks, everyone. Okay, and now to celebrate our huge win last night, when I say who you're gonna call, you're gonna say our union. When the stipend's low and the man's never end, who you gonna call? Our union. When your health's at stake and research hurts, who you gonna call? Our union. When changing lives means long delays, who you gonna call? Our union. When rent increase and your release, who you gonna call? Our union. One more round of applause for the band. Hi everyone, my name is Sophie. I'm a third-year grad worker in the Department of Material Science and Engineering. And a member of our bargaining committee. So, as you all know, our original agenda for this meeting was to launch a strike pledge, which we were all prepared to collectively launch today. The threat of strike brought MIT admin running back to the table yesterday. Where they came on all three of our core demands. This week, we have reached a full tentative agreement with MIT. We want an agency shop that will ensure a strong union. in front of them, the impossible suddenly became very possible. This tentative agreement isn't perfect, but it addresses our core demands as grad workers, and we were able to push MIT to their limit on what they were willing to give us. Most importantly, this tentative agreement sets us up as a strong, united union prepared to enforce this contract and fight hard for future contracts. So just to be really clear, despite what my shirt says, this tentative agreement means that now we do not have to strike. I wanted to wear this shirt anyways because one, it's vintage now and limited edition. So head over to that table afterwards to get your own vintage shirt. And two, it demonstrates exactly why we won. We won a tentative agreement because of every single grad worker who fought for this contract. Right. Every single grad worker who came to a picket, signed the petition, brought their friends and coworkers out to a rally, and made it here to this GMM today. We won a tentative agreement because of every single union organizer and our entire contract action team. Give it up for yourselves for this huge victory. This is a truly monumental collective victory for all of us. We have a really exciting agenda for the rest of the meeting today. We have speakers from our union, from MIT faculty, and from Local 506 and Local 26. So first up, we have Advik, an incredible organizer from the Econ department. Give it up for Advik.
Hey everyone, I'm Advik. I have a fifth year in the economics department. I'm one of the organizers there, and I am thrilled to be here today, 1 year after our contract kickoff rally, 1 week after we announced our strike plans, and 1 day before this very meeting itself, when MIT caved at the bargaining table and gave us a tentative agreement that meets all of our membership's core demands. As a preview for what to expect in the next week, the bargaining committee is going to send out details and a recommendation for the tentative agreement by the end of this week. Next week, we'll have an online ratification vote by all dues-paying members. That's RAs, TAs, and fellows who can participate. There'll be info sessions about the agreement as well. So that's all next week. Today, this week, we celebrate our wins and how far we've come. We built this union because MIT, a world-class research university, depends on our work to run.
That's right.
Yeah. We teach classes, we run experiments, and we build this school's good name every time we patent, publish, and present our work. MIT works because we do. So when you hear me say it, MIT works because we do. MIT works because we do. MIT works because we do. Yeah. That's why this strike threat was so successful at winning concessions from the administration. We showed them time and time again that they couldn't take our work for granted, that we were ready to fight for our contract and to escalate that fight. Last fall, we started things out with general membership meetings on health and safety, real recourse, and international students issues that hundreds of you came to and shared your testimonials at. In the spring, you ran day-long pickets that were so loud, Ian Waits had to move meetings out of his office, and then we did that a second time, only louder and bigger. When the administration tried to stall things out over the summer to see if things would, cool down, We collected hundreds of contract action team members in all hands CAT meetings, the new tongue twister, to plan a strike threat if necessary. In doing all of this, we sent a clear message to MIT's administration. And we got this contract now because our strike threat was a ticking clock, and we gave the administration nowhere to run but back to the table. This is something that we could only have accomplished with our union. Alone and individually, we're just too small to negotiate with MIT. But together, when we built this union, when you built this union, when you built this strike threat, you showed that we have the power, collectively through our actions, to negotiate and win a contract from MIT. We do have the power, we've got that union power, and I want to hear it. Who's got the power?
We got the power!
What kind of power?
Union power!
Who's got the power?
We got the power!
What kind of power?
Union power!
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Allison. Next up, we have Sneha, our amazing bargaining committee member from Penny. Give it up for Sneha.
Hi everyone, my name is Sneha and I'm a fourth-year graduate worker in chemical engineering and a bargaining committee representative. We built this union when we needed to address the essential needs of our graduate workers. Our demands were simple and reasonable and fair. A compensation package that would meet our economic needs, a safe and dignified workplace, and a strong union. By organizing and by showing MIT that we would strike if we had to, we have reached a tentative agreement that is a real step forward on all these issues. So let's talk about these issues. Who here has seen your cost of living rise in your grocery bill, your utilities, or your rent? Almost every single person has raised their hand. The first time the admin came to the table, they offered us a 4% raise this year and next to nothing else. With your organizing, our picketing, our strike, we have won 5.4% this year, a subsidized dental insurance, an increased TPAS subsidy, 8 for international students, and grants for grad workers with kids. Fellows out of our union, we chose to stand together, and we have pressured them to promise that they will extend all these economic benefits to fellows as well. And we aren't just fighting for wages. Our rights and our dignity as workers are vital to our success as researchers. Before these negotiations, if you faced harassment or discrimination, you are alone and dragged out in a dragged-out process with no clear timelines and an unfair preference towards protecting MIT faculty. Now, with this tentative agreement, grad workers will have real recourse in harassment and discrimination. We have won timely proceedings, mutual arbitration as a backstop, and a union steward at every step so you don't go through the process alone. Even more, when you file a grievance, the whole power of this united campus will be standing behind you, and we will be ready to raise hell for you to get a fair resolution. The list can go on for what we have won throughout this whole contract fight. We have one of the strongest health and safety protections of any grad union, expanded parental benefits, international student rights, better processes for academic discharge and discipline, and even more. And you'll be seeing all of these as we go through our contract wins throughout this week and next week. This tentative agreement is such a major improvement from where we were before the establishment of our union, and for that, we all should be proud of all the hard work we did and all the pressure we put on MIT. Signing an agreement is going to be a really big step, but a contract on its own is just a piece of paper. We need to hold MIT accountable for its promises. Our power to enforce a contract comes from the same place as our power to win this contract: widespread participation from our membership. This brings us to the cornerstone, one of the cornerstone wins of this contract. With union security through agency shop, we have won broad and universal membership base, and that means a strong union with the resources to keep fighting. That means we can pay for arbitration over contract disputes and build up the strike fund so that next time we can win an even stronger contract. That is ringing true to me right now and throughout last night when we first got this kind of agreement. When we fight, we win. Let me hear you say it. When we fight,
we win.
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 Woo!
Thank you so much, Neha. Next up, we have Nishad, one of our amazing bargaining committee members from EAT. Give it up for Nishad.
When I say union, you say power. Union.
Power.
Union.
Power.
Union.
Power.
Union.
Power.
Union.
Power.
Union.
Power.
Union.
Power.
Union.
Power.
That's right. Union power. What's up, everyone? My name is Nishad. I'm a grad worker in ECS and a proud representative on our bargaining committee. It's an incredible feeling to be here, standing alongside my grad workers to celebrate this amazing victory. We've come a long way to make this possible. So I want to take a minute now to look back at where this journey started and the path that we took to this historic first contract. It was 2 years ago, right out there on Cockfield Court, that we launched this union campaign. We started on this journey because we sought to address the issues that all of us face as grad workers. Whether it was unclear work expectations, or unfair treatment by advisors, or just pay that wasn't keeping up with the cost of living, we saw our union. We fundamentally believed that we were stronger together, and that by standing together as thousands, we actually did have the power to change our conditions. MIT might be able to single out or ignore one of us, but they can't ignore 5,000 of us. Can they ignore 5,000 of us? No! Can they ignore 5,000 of us? No! And through our negotiations, we've seen what the power of our collective strength can deliver. When negotiations seemed to be slowing down and MIT was digging in, we picketed out there on Mass Ave, up and down Mass Ave, and as a result, we moved MIT to give us raises and dental insurance. Grad workers have been asking for dental insurance for 20 years, being ignored year after year. But they couldn't ignore our union, could they? No! They couldn't ignore our union, could they? No! And in these past few months, as MIT continued to stall at our contract and deny us on our core issues, we didn't give in. Instead, we escalated and built the pressure of our strike threat through escalations like this one, our GMF. It's no coincidence at all that a day before we were set to launch our strike pledge, MIT folded and caved to our demands. Because it's us grad workers who teach the classes, grade the exams, do the research, make the presentations, write the papers, bring in the grants, win the fellowships. We are the backbone of this institution. Simply put, MIT doesn't work without us. And that's why we've got the power. Who's got the power?
We got the power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
Union power.
What kind of power?
Union power.
Let's be very clear about it. It's our organizing towards this strike which forced them to settle this contract. And look, this contract isn't perfect. We wanted more. And we know that we deserve more. But we should be proud of this contract. It sets us up to build an even stronger union over the next 3 years. This contract win shows us the power of workers standing united. Say it with me. The workers united will never be defeated. 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 Thank you very much.
As a lot of us know, many faculty here at MIT have stood with us throughout this fight. So next up we have Professor Tanalis Padilla, a history professor here at MIT, to show us her support.
Thank you so much to the organizers for inviting me to be here, and of course, my most heartfelt congratulations to you all on this victory. It's really an honor to be able to, stand here before you. So congratulations. It's truly historic, this victory, and it is a real testament to your work, commitment, unity, and willingness to engage in bold acts. As we see from the huge wave of organizing this summer, you all are part of a much bigger national movement. I myself sense the importance of unions at an early age. My mother was an elementary school teacher in the Los Angeles Unified School District, and thanks to her union, we had health care. Thanks to her union, my mother had a pension. And thanks to her union, my mother could support a family of 5 with a stable, if modest, income. It wasn't easy. LA teachers had to repeatedly mobilize from picket lines to strike to preserve those rights. As a young adolescent, I accompanied my mother on those picket lines. I grew up in a household where honoring picket lines was considered a near sacred duty. And then I got to live my own labor strike several years later as a graduate student at the University of California, San Diego. Graduate students in the UC system had been fighting for the right to unionize for over a decade. In fact, some of my undergraduate professors had participated in that struggle. I was a second-year graduate student when the organizing again picked up steam. I remember long and often heated conversations with fellow graduate students about whether teaching assistants constituted workers. I remember arguments that, as future professors, we were intellectuals rather than laborers. I remember the UC administration's indifference to education when it responded that if the hours it paid us for grading the students' work weren't enough to provide substantive feedback, then we should just use an egg timer and devote only the requisite few minutes to each assignment. And I remember when we finally decided to go on strike, and that unsettling feeling as I signed the paperwork indicating my decision to forgo my wage. I also remember the camaraderie of fellow graduate students as we marched on the picket lines, the solidarity of the Teamsters as they turned their trucks around, refusing to make deliveries to the university during a strike, and the words of encouragement from my former undergraduate professors who themselves, as graduate students, had begun the fight for union recognition. But most of all, I remember that phone call that came in the evening of the second day of our strike, informing us that because of our strike, the California governor had ordered the UC administration to the bargaining table, an effective recognition of our right to unionize. The sensation of that victory is still with me decades later. And that victory marked the end of one struggle and the beginning of another, the negotiating process. The administration fought us at every turn and on every demand, drawing out the process to exhaust us. I myself did not get to reap the material benefits of our victory, but vividly remember the words of a younger graduate student when, years later, he said to me. All I remember is how seemingly from one day to the next, my paycheck dramatically increased. The struggle, of course, continues as we see by the courageous strike of the UC's academic workers last year. That strike, like your own threat to strike, achieved historic victories, including wage increases, child care subsidies, parental leave, transit benefits, protections against bullying and harassment, and a new right for workers with disabilities. The remarkable, inspiring, and historic labor mobilizations we have witnessed across the country are happening because conditions for workers have become so intolerable. As I think of the dismal prospects for graduating PhDs, the crisis in the humanities, and the small proportion of the faculty workforce who are tenured or tenure-track, I can't help but think that this situation would be different if we, as faculty at all universities, had unions. Maybe your own struggle can inspire us to one day fight for our own collective bargaining rights. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Professor Padilla. That story just makes me think about how across the nation, across decades, we always know that when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. All right, next up, we are very excited to have Mike Kramer, Vice President of Unite Here Local 26, which represents workers in the hospitality industries of Massachusetts and Rhode Island, including our very own dining workers here at MIT.
So, first off, I just want to say a heartfelt congratulations to the fighting members of MIT GSU. This is a huge victory not only for yourselves and for your coworkers, but for every worker on this campus. So congratulations. As Sophie said, my name is Mike. I'm the Executive Vice President of Unite Here Local 26. Local 26 represents 12,000 workers across Greater Boston and Rhode Island who work in universities like this one, as well as in hotels and casinos. And since 2016, when Harvard dining hall workers who are members of Local 26 went on strike for 22 days, we've been known as a union that strikes and wins. And I'm very, very proud of that reputation that our members have built for themselves, and was planning to come here today to talk about lessons from that experience to pass on to you to have your own victorious strike. But you already won. So I had to think today driving over here, well, what am I going to say now? And it was pretty simple, actually, because one of the things that's become clear to me in my time in the labor movement is that the victories are important. They're incredibly important and should be celebrated, especially sweet victories like this one. And we have to draw the lessons from those victories to set us up to fight bigger, stronger, and harder moving forward. I think some of the lessons to draw out here are quite simple and clear, but they're important to reflect on. And one, I think, comes from something that Sophie said in the introduction. How does the impossible become possible seemingly overnight? And the answer is, it was always possible. But that's where the lesson is. The lesson is that we as working people, whether we work in a kitchen or in a classroom or in a lab, We only ever get what we're organized to take and what we fight to take. And in some ways, that's a quite simple lesson, but I think it's worth reflecting on right now for two reasons. One, for some of you, this will be your only contact, right? You'll move on and do other things, but I don't think there are too many people in this room who are the rich and powerful people who run our society. We're working people, and we're going to continue to have to work and live in communities of working people. And so that lesson will serve you wherever you go. But two, this is the end of something, but it's also the beginning of something. There's now a legally binding collective bargaining agreement. It's a huge thing. How many people here believe that the boss is stopped by the law? And I'm going to take that as a sign it's not too many. Good. As was said earlier, a contract is a piece of paper. What gives it power, what gives it life, is a fighting union that enforces it every day. And frankly, that pushes beyond the boundaries of what has been negotiated to win new victories every day. Is the MIT GSU a fighting union? Okay, good. That's what I thought. Because I guarantee you right now, there are people across this campus who are thinking about how they're going to get around what they've just negotiated. It's all of your job to not let them by staying organized and continuing to fight. I'm going to keep this going. I'm going to keep this going as the chant of the day. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. You fought, you won. Keep fighting, keep winning. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mark, for all of those questions. Next up, we're excited. We have John Miles, UE Local 506's business agent. UE Local 506 is one of our UE siblings out in Erie, Pennsylvania, which represents 1,400 workers at a log tech plant.
Thank you very much. As Sophie said, my name is John Miles. I'm with UE Local 506. I am the business agent. But the one thing I will tell you is the members run this union. Who are we? Who are we? Who are we? You guys, you have another 1,400 members in Erie, Pennsylvania that will stand strong with you in anything you guys do. You guys stood up to this college, this MIT. You told them that you were willing to go on strike, and they backed down. I know a little bit about something on strike. As you can see on my sleeve, I have 1 year was 102 days, another year was 9 days, and we just finished a 70-day strike. We have 1,400 members on the strike line that surrounded the plant in Erie, Pennsylvania, for exactly what you guys are fighting for. Fair wages, better living conditions, health care. Everything that you guys fight for is the same thing we fight for. We are all one union. This national union of UE will always stand with you, as well as every local. I'll put it this way. You guys will go out on strike, we be coming up to visit. We do this together. All unions can stand together. If you see another union that's out on strike, take a group and go stand with them, because we all are fighting for the same thing. We may not all be UE, but we are all fighting for the same thing. You guys need fair conditions, you need a better contract, you need better living wages, we all want the same thing. But what I will tell you is I've met several of your guys' negotiating team throughout the last year, and it's been amazing. You guys, all of you, are amazing. You guys are standing up for something that my local stood up for 86 years ago. We're a legacy local. We've been with UE for 86 years. We know a little bit about unity. We know a little bit about a union. But you guys showing what you guys have shown over the last year, you're right there with us. And believe me, we will do everything in our power to support you. You guys have done a great job. Everybody at UE 506 is very proud of each and every one of you. Don't stop the fight, because the fight never stops. All right? That's what it's about. You guys need anything, all that we are is a phone call away. Who are we?
UE!
Who are we?
UE!
Who are we?
UE!
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ron. I just want to take a second to shout out all of the unions here today. Unite Here Local 26, UB Local 506, 32BJ, Teamsters Local 25, and every other union who has supported us throughout this first contract fight. Can we give it up to them? Our last speaker today is June, our amazing bargaining committee from Aerobastro. Please welcome June.
Hi everybody, my name is June. I'm a fourth-year graduate student here at MIT and a bargaining committee representative for Alaska. As you can see from our speakers today, the entire community is rallying around our fight for a strong union and a great first contract. That is because all of our fights are intertwined. We are all working towards a future where workers have a say over their working conditions. We are all united for a fair MIT. By coming together, building this organization, and showing that we have the power to unite for a strike that would disrupt business as usual for MIT, we have won more than a contract. We've won the future of our union. By winning the union security clause with agency shop, this contract sets us up for a strong, united union with universal membership. This will ensure that the MIT graduate student will be a truly representative body of graduate workers with the power to enforce this contract. Last year, the graduate workers voted for a strong union to give ourselves a voice at MIT, and we see our power shine through in this contract. We are set up for a strong union for years to come, and we will continue the fight to have our issues addressed and our needs met. Our strong grievance procedure will be the main tool for solving our problems as workers. But a grievance procedure only works when we have the members of this union standing behind it, ready to fight for each other, just like we've been ready to fight for this contract. Winning this contract is just the beginning. The organizational power that we have created over the last 2 years is what sets us up for the fights to come. The fight to include fellows in our bargaining unit, the fight to enforce this contract, and the fight to win the next contract. Are you ready to fight? Yeah, I thought so. The contract that we all work together to win is the beginning of a new future here at MIT. As long as there is an MIT, there will be an MIT graduate student union. But it's also the beginning of a new future for academia. Right now, we have a lot of sibling grad unions who are also affiliated with UE. University of New Mexico State, Northwestern, Johns Hopkins, UChicago, Dartmouth, University of Minnesota, Stanford, and Cornell. Let's give some applause to our students. And there will be more to come. This totals over 25,000 graduate workers across the country, most of whom are starting to negotiate for their first contracts too. They are fighting for the same existential rights and protections that we've been fighting for: fair compensation, workplace protections, and union security. They have been looking to us to see what we can win. And now we have shown them, and we've shown the bosses, what we can win when we are united. Who are we? Who are we?
made this tentative agreement happen. This first contract fight is historic for all of us at MIT and sets a historic precedent for the tens of thousands of unionized grad workers following in our footsteps. We have won the strong union we have spent the last 5+ years fighting for, and we are ready to keep fighting for more. Are we ready to fight? Yeah! When we fight, we win! 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 Thank you, everyone. The band is prepared.
We have one last song for you today, and I think it's really on theme with what we've been talking about so far, because we've been keeping this union going for years now, through an election, through starting our contract negotiations, through MIT giving us insulting offer after insulting offer at the table. We've rolled the union on.